My three concerns on a glorious spring day are women in banking, Saudi Arabia and Brexit. Let's deal with women first. The Governing Council of the European Central Bank consists of 25 members. Two of them, or 8%, are women. Germany, France, Italy and Spain, the major euro area countries governed by the ECB, all have gender quotas for their larger company boards, which include banks. And these quotas range from 33% to 40%. Now, the Bank of England, its court of directors, does better than the ECB on the gender front. 2 or 18% of the board is made up of women. There are no quotas in the UK, but there are targets under the Davis Review. 25% of FTSE 100 boards, including banks, are now made up of female directors. The next target is for all FTSE 350 companies to have 33% female board representation by 2020. What needs to change? The ECB should bring its governance up to date with that of the banks it governs. So should the Bank of England. They both should appoint more women to their boards to reach the respective quota or target. Moving on to Saudi Arabia, the worry is that the US and the West are losing interest in this problematic ally. The country could well face its own Arab Spring within the next 12 months. 4 factors are playing a big role. The fall in revenues due to the collapse in the price of oil, US disengagement, both real and perceived, from its erstwhile allies, arch-enemy Iran's rejoining of the international community, and the Saudi demographic challenge, with 70% of the population under 30 years old and around a third of them unemployed. There's no question that the country's alliance with the West is defective. There are reportedly ties between a few members of the Saudi establishment and some of the 9/11 bombers, detailed in a US intelligence report whose findings could well be published. It's no secret that the royal family owes its permanence in power to a deal with Wahhabi clerics, including the export of this particularly unpleasant branch of Sunni Islam. Women still cannot leave the house without a male guardian, nor open a bank account without their husband's permission. The country's strategic decision to push down the price of oil so as to safeguard its market share has been done by bankrupting Western shale producers. On the plus side, more or less, is a powerful new deputy crown prince, 31-year-old Mohammed bin Salman, who's intent on transforming the economy. MBS, as he's known, has as many detractors as he has fans. The German Secret Service, for instance, published a memo stating that he's a danger to regional stability and was responsible for launching the Yemeni invasion when defence minister. Well, it's not even clear that he will make it to the top job when his 80-year-old father, King Salman, dies. What would be sensible in this case? Realpolitik demands that we continue to support a flawed authoritarian regime. The West cannot afford for the royal household to be overthrown, resulting in yet another failed state like Syria or Libya, let alone one with a massive population of 32 million, which happens to be a geopolitical anchor. Now for Brexit. It's a scandal, I think, that Brexiters talk about a few years of disruption as the price to pay for access to the promised land of EU-free legislation and chocolate-covered biscuits. Joking aside, it's impossible to estimate how long and how deep a recession would ensue. But it is possible to say that this would most affect the young, the children and grandchildren of many of those advocating an exit. Jobs are precarious enough in our modern economy without taking our families down dark alleyways where additional risks lie. Plus, a vote for Brexit is a vote for Boris Johnson to take over as Prime Minister, as David Cameron would resign on principle if Brexiters won. Do we want Boris to have a finger on the nuclear button? The vast majority of countries belong to clubs. For geographical reasons, ours happens to be the EU. However imperfect, a much better strategy is to implement a proactive policy so as to wield our due influence. What would be sensible? Vote Remain. Thanks for viewing.